What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty, back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be ranking some of the best players in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM on a tier list. Now, I could only have 45 total players on this. Otherwise, I mean, it just wouldn't let me load. And it's just kind of the adjustment I think 2K database has made to not make all of these PNGs or JPGs. But it's fine, right? We got some of the best of the best. It's just cards like Benedict Mathurin, for example, did not make the cut. But we're just going to be going in order from top to bottom, ranking these cards on this list, man. And if your favorite card didn't make the cut, I'm sorry. I apologize. Maybe they will be on the next list. We're going to start it off here with Scottie Pippen. And look, guys, if they're in the top tier, that means they're in, the best lineup possible in the game. That's where I'm at right now. That is my opinion on things. If they do make the top tier, the top 10, they're in the best squad in the game. Now, for Scottie Pippen, 81 3-ball. The 3-ball feels like a 90. And that's the one thing for Scottie Pippen that a lot of people, I mean, not that they take for granted, but they might not truly understand, right? That his 3-ball might seem a little bit low, but when in reality, it's fine. Like an 81 3-ball is just fine. His defense is absolutely elite. His release is outstanding. In my opinion, guys, and this is my opinion, Scottie Pippen's a top 10 card in the game. Y'all can debate a wall if y'all want to, but in my personal opinion, I got Scottie Pippen in my top 10. Cash Money Chris Middleton, man. I don't hate Middleton, okay? And you guys need to understand this. I don't hate Middleton. On next gen, he is still absolutely elite. The problem is, on current gen, I'm not the highest on Chris Middleton right now. And that's just my opinion. On current gen, I just don't think he's great. His release is a little slow, in my opinion. And that just kind of hurts the card a little bit. On next gen, obviously, he does have that normal leaner, right? Which helps him out. Defensively, can hold it down. I just think when we're looking at this list and we're talking about the best of the best, I don't know how high I truly can be on Chris Middleton anymore. And that's not any slander towards Middleton. As far as an auctionable player, he's one of the best for, under that 200,000 price range. But I just don't know how high on Cash Money Chris Middleton I can be. Pink Diamond Kawhi Leonard up next. And I like Kawhi Leonard. I really do. I think Kawhi Leonard holds it down compared to a lot of the other small forwards. Is Kawhi Leonard great? No. Is this going to be the best Kawhi card we get this year? No. But Kawhi being the best of the best at that small forward position might be a thing of the past. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, because he's still really good. His release is solid. Defensively can hold it down. But when Kawhi used to just be the best of the best, have the best release in the game, used to green everything, used to get every stop, used to have his own defensive stance, he just doesn't do all of that anymore. His tendencies aren't great. I think putting Kawhi in B tier is where he belongs, right? I can't have him any higher, but I do think he belongs in B tier. For Alex English, I think I'm gotta go C tier and split the middle there for Mr. English. He's not bad, and that's what I'm trying to say is Alex English is not bad. He gives you something on the court, right? For Alex English, he's a defensive mind. Now, here's the difference between Alex English and a guy like Kawhi Leonard, right? Kawhi's 3-ball is going to be better. Alex English, though, is going to have that cheesy Carmelo Anthony type base. So I guess what I'm going to say is between the two cards, some people are going to prefer Alex English, some people aren't, right? It really just depends on what you specifically are looking for. And I don't think either way is wrong. Whether you prefer Kawhi Leonard, whether you prefer Alex English, I don't think you can go wrong either way. The one thing with Alex English is he's going to be better on next gen than current gen. That's just the Carmelo Anthony release. People with that release are going to be way better on next gen than current gen, because on current gen, they're still going to step in from the corners. And I mean, it's just not as easy to green. I do like Alex English a lot more on next gen than current gen. I think overall he is D tier though. I mean, you guys can maybe say I'm too high, too low on a card, but I think maybe D tier is the spot for him. Elton Brand up next, and no Elton Brand slander tolerated. I'm not tolerating any of it. Why? Elton Brand is extremely good in my team. Nobody is telling me any difference. Here's why I like Elton Brand, and then you guys can tell me why you don't like it. Why I like Elton Brand. He's primary power forward, which if you give him Monty Williams, name a flaw in Elton Brand. Name one. I'll wait. because there are no flaws in Elton Brand if you give him Monty Williams. You know, maybe without Monty Williams, you can make the case, oh, well, Elton Brand, you know, his 3 ball is not where it needs to be. You know, his speed's not that high. He's got 91 speed, good interior perimeter. His rebounding stats are immaculate. Elton Brand is absolutely him in my team, and he might even go up to S tier. That's how high I am on Elton Brand. I think Elton Brand is absolutely fantastic in my team. I really do. The problem is he's not as good as Anthony Davis. That's the real big problem right now. Is Anthony Davis is just quite a bit better. And I can already tell I forgot Jimmy Butler, okay? Obviously, Jimmy Butler would be S tier. And it looks like I forgot some of the other opals. So like Gilbert Arenas might be S tier, A tier. But the hard part with ranking some of these Galaxy opals, I'm just going to move them all to the end because here's the deal. Here's the deal with Galaxy opals, okay? Nobody's got them yet. So why would I rank them? Nobody's got them yet. So I'm not even going to rank them because, I mean, that's something I was thinking about. Do I want to put them on? Do I not want to put them on? And that's part of it. If you want to see where they rank in comparison to some of the other trophy case players, just watch my trophy case video. James Worthy, S tier. I just got James Worthy recently, okay, guys? And I love the card. I mean, his defense is immaculate. Offensively, he's just fine. His release is solid, right? It's not necessarily the quickest, but it is really easy to time, really easy to green. For James Worthy, I'm just going to straight up tell you guys, there's no flaws in the card. Not one. It's different than Elton Brand, right? Because Elton Brand might give you a little more defensively, especially on the interior, whereas James Worthy is going to give you more on the perimeter. But there's no flaws in James Worthy. If you want to say that this card's better than a guy like Scottie Pippen, I'm not going to be the one to disagree with you. I'm just not. I love big game James. He's probably going to be on my squad for a very, very long time. Next up, guys, we got Zach Randolph. And the reason Zach Randolph's on this list is because I have seen not a lot, but some comp people run Zach Randolph. Now, here's my takeaway. I see absolutely, and this is my opinion, I see absolutely no way in which Zach Randolph is better than a guy like Elton Brand. Now, again, that's me in my specific opinion. You guys can have your own. But I have a very hard time seeing him be better than Elton Brand. I know he's got Hall of Fame brick wall, box out beast, and rebound chaser. But his release isn't great. I mean, I just think Elton Brand as a card overall is the better option. That's my opinion on it. Zach Randolph, I'm putting in C tier. You guys can say that's wrong, that's biased, whatever you want to say. I just don't think the card's very good. And I'm not in love with Larry Johnson either. And I know a lot of people like Larry J, but I'm not one of them. I think Larry Johnson is the definition of just a mediocre small forward when it comes to my team. Why? Well, I like Scottie Pippen better. I definitely like James Worthy better. I like a guy in which you guys will see in JT better. There's just a lot of guys that I like better at this small forward, power forward position, in which I can't really prioritize Larry Johnson. I just can't. I mean, the card's not horrible. He's not, I mean, you can run him still to this day and he's going to hold it down. But my question is, what is Larry Johnson really doing for you on the court? And I just don't know if I have the answer to that. I just think he is mid in my team. And so is Zion Williamson. I mean, Zion had his time in my team. I'll be the first to say it. I absolutely love Zion in month 1. The problem is, it's not month 1 anymore. The game has developed. The game has, changed since then. And I'm just not quite as high on Zion Williamson anymore as I once was. Now, that's not me saying Zion Williamson is bad. That's not me saying you can't run him. That's not me saying he can't be, your favorite card in the game. It's just for me specifically, I don't see it in Zion Williamson to put him above C tier at this stage of my team. Now, again, that is my personal opinion. You guys can have your own. I just don't see it in Zion Williamson at this stage. Next up, guys, we do see Jermaine O'Neal. Now, for Jermaine O'Neal, I absolutely love this card. Is he the best center in the game? Probably not. Okay, he's probably, just objectively, probably not the best power forward center in the game anymore, but he's still a trophy case card I absolutely love. He's a card that you can run at the power forward center position that can do it all. There is one big flaw with Jermaine O'Neal, and everybody knows what that flaw is. It's his release, okay? Nobody is going to argue against it. Jermaine O'Neal's release is horrible in my team. And if you argue against it, I think you don't know or you haven't used Jermaine O'Neal. His release is the only downside to the card. Defensively, good. Handling the ball, good. There's really no flaws in Jermaine O'Neal. I mean, the card can get it done at any level. It just comes down to that release. If he had a better release, he'd probably be S tier. I just don't think he's S tier at this point. A card I do think is S tier, especially if we're not ranking the Galaxy Opals. I mean, yes, some people have the Galaxy Opals, but they are pretty rare. We're going to plug in Kevin Garnett. And maybe I'll do the Galaxy Opals at the end and just talk about them. Since I don't have them all here, I don't want to do the whole tier list with just part of them. Maybe that's just something we will talk about at the end of this video. But with Kevin Garnett, guys, here's what you're looking at. You're looking at a card that, in my opinion, can get it done at every level. And it's just a better version of Jermaine. Yes, Jermaine might be a better paint defender. I noticed that in quals. I felt like Jermaine O'Neal was just a better paint defensive player in general. But KG, he's got more total badges. He's got, maybe he's got a better release. I just think he's a better overall player when comparing him to a guy like Jermaine O'Neal. Blake Griffin at this stage of my team is not good. He's D tier. And you guys can say whatever you want. At this stage of my team, I do not like Blake Griffin. I don't rank him. His defense is horrible. He's just not good. A card who is outstanding is Jason Tatum. You got to throw Jason Tatum in S tier. I mean, go back to last pause when I was playing against Newman. There's a reason I lost the game. It's because he greened 20% with him. Greened a 40-some% with him. I mean, Jason Tatum is a card that is absolutely elite. And when you shoot around with JT, you're not going to think his release is anything special. But let me tell you guys, Jason Tatum's release is special, okay? I'm just throwing it out there for you guys. JT's release is more than special in my team. It's actually incredible. And it's super easy to time, super easy to green. If you're not running Jason Tatum, you're doing something wrong right now in my team. Next up, guys, we do got Chris Bosh. Oof. This one is tough. And the reason Chris Bosh is such a tough guy to rank, in my opinion, is because he's one that divides the community. There's some people that absolutely love Chris Bosh. There's some people that, agree with him and use him. But here's my opinion on Chris Bosh. And I'm just going to show you guys what I mean when I say this, okay? For Chris Bosh, first things first, okay? His defense is mid. And if I just put Blake Griffin, and look, guys, if I just put Blake Griffin in D tier because of his defense, how can I be much higher on this card? I mean, aren't they like the same, right? Isn't Chris Bosh basically the same type of a card? That's where I'm at right now. Is it's like, if Chris Bosh can't be ranked high, then Blake Griffin can. I mean, it's that simple. I do think Chris Bosh gives you a little bit more as far as his release, stuff like that, but I just don't think he's great in general. And another guy I don't think is great is Carmelo Anthony. Now, you guys can say, Ty, Melo's release is cheesy. It is. 100% agree with that. But to go along with that, his defense is mid. Okay, yes, I get his release is cheesy. And I 100% agree with that. Melo's release on next gen specifically is so cheesy. He's honestly tough to guard. You got to put it on smother or at least tight. Otherwise, he is going to green tough shots. But for Carmelo Anthony, again, I like guys with defense, and Melo just doesn't have great defense. And same thing with Chris Bosh and Blake Griffin. Shawn Kemp up next. Now, here's the deal with Shawn Kemp. I've used Shawn Kemp in quals. I liked him. I've used him a lot. But ever since I've got, just some better options, he just doesn't play for me anymore. And that's not me saying Shawn Kemp is bad, because I like Shawn Kemp in general. I think Shawn Kemp is solid. He just doesn't play for me anymore. Defensively, he's better than a guy like Chris Bosh. Offensively, he attacks the rim absolutely incredibly. I love Shawn Kemp. He is a B tier power forward in my team. And honestly, depending on your playstyle, you could even have him in A tier, and I'm not going to be the one to argue with him. If you want to put him in A tier, do what you guys got to do. I just can't personally do that. For Am and Giannis at this stage, I'm going to go D tier. Some people still love Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's just, that's not me. It's not me anymore. And again, it's just one of those things. We need a new Giannis, okay? I love Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we need a new one. Problem is, he's just not perfect. And again, you have to badge him all the way up, which is super expensive to do. For me, I just think there's better options at this point than Giannis. That's my opinion. I'm putting him at D tier. At Jermaine O'Neal again. I don't know why he's on here twice, but Alonzo Mourning is A tier. Here's the deal. Between Alonzo Mourning, between Jermaine O'Neal, and another guy you're going to see, I personally think it's preference based. Now, my personal opinion is that Alonzo Mourning is maybe the second best option. But the problem is with Monty Williams, he doesn't get the 3-ball boosted. That's the main problem I see. I still feel like overall he's better than a guy like Jermaine O'Neal. I think it's that simple. And Alonzo Mourning, when I play against him, he's a problem. He's a problem because he can shoot. His release isn't as bad, and he can just be a prop all the way around. I'd move him up before I move Jermaine O'Neal up on this list. Arvydas Sabonis and Zydrunas Ilgauskas. They're going to be in my same spot. They're always going to be in the same spot for me. Now, I know they are a little bit different, and they're going to be a little bit different, but they provide the same thing. I'm tired of, if you want to argue that one should be ahead of the other, what are you arguing for? A release? Or really, like, what is the difference in the cards? Let's look at it. Arvydas Sabonis, okay? Here's what you're looking at. He's 7'3", okay? That's basically all he gives you. Zydrunas Ilgauskas is 7'3". Defense is horrible. I mean, I get they got brick wall and stuff, but they've got to be in the exact same tier. And for me right now, that tier is B tier. It's that simple. You can have them higher if you want, but for me, they both are B tier. Kevin McHale's the other card, right? In with all these guys that it's like, okay, you can really put them wherever you want. Now, for McHale, in my opinion, you could be higher on him, you could be lower on him. It doesn't really matter to me. Yes, his player model might be better, but I don't think he gives you quite as much. And that's my opinion on things. I think when you're comparing him to a guy like Jermaine O'Neal, comparing him to a guy like Alonzo Mourning, I just don't think Kevin McHale quite gives you as much. Joel Embiid, I think, is B tier. A lot of people love Joel Embiid. And if that's you, again, do what you guys do, man. If you love Joel Embiid, then run Joel Embiid. It's that simple. Use the cards that you are going to have success with. For me specifically, I do not have success with a guy like Joel Embiid. I don't. I think he's mediocre on defense. I get, his player model is fine. He's going to compete well on defense. But I just can't rank him over Jermaine, Elton Brand, Alonzo Mourning, and Kevin McHale. I can't. Will Chamberlain, I'm going in B tier as well. If you do like inside bigs, interior bigs, Will Chamberlain might be the guy for you. It's that simple. He might be. But the problem for me right now is I don't like inside bigs. I just don't. I don't think inside bigs, interior bigs are the meta, are the way to go. And that's why he's at B tier. He's still really tough. I hate playing against Will, but I hate playing with him too. So it's just kind of a, it's kind of a difficult situation. For Chet Holmgren up next, he is an Evo card. And I do think he is deserving of C tier. Why? Well, he can shoot the ball. He's decent mashing. Defensively, he's better than he should be. The strength's a problem, though. I'm going to tell you guys this. Look, guys, I used him, okay? And all was fine, right? I used him, all was fine. And then I literally, it was on my Nobody Spent today. I got drop stepped by a guy that should not have drop stepped me. Like, at all. He should have never drop stepped me. And he did. He drop stepped me, and that was it. I mean, Chet Holmgren literally got drop stepped into the front row, which it is what it is. I mean, that's what you get with Chet, but that's when I noticed, okay, there's a little bit of a problem with this specific card. Next up, guys, we got Steve Francis. And I think with Steve Francis, we're going to have to put him in C tier. Why? I just think as an overall card, look, I know defensively, you guys could be like, Steve Francis is solid. And he's not bad defensively, but he's not great. The one thing Steve Francis is going to give you guys is he is going to be absolutely incredible at attacking the rim. Great finishing badges. 96 driving dunk is incredible. Obviously, the standing dunk's not where you want it to be. Steve Francis, he's a pretty good point guard in my team. There's just better options. Jeremy Lin, the first option that I think is better than Steve Francis. And you guys might a lot of people might disagree with this. Might think, that he's not better, but in my opinion he is. Why? He's taller, he's going to defend better. That's really it. Now I know Jeremy Lin's dunking might not be as good, but it's good enough. He's got an 85 driving dunk. What more do you guys need? 70 interior. I really feel like people are sleeping on Jeremy Lin, myself included. I mean, he's got an 85 driving dunk. What more do you guys need out of the card? That's what I'm asking. Jeremy Lin, in my opinion, better than Steve Francis. Russell Westbrook, S tier. People ask me all the time, Ty, who is the best point guard in the game right now? It's Russell Westbrook. It is. Whether you 5 out, whether you're a rim runner, it's Russell Westbrook. Heck, even if you're a 3-hunter, Russ, here's the deal, guys. People aren't going to talk about Russ being a 3-hunter, which he's not. I'll give you guys credit. But you give him Monty Williams, you give him a shoe, and before you know it, he's got an 83 3-ball, and you can give him basically every shooting badge in the game with a decent release. I mean, people aren't talking about Russ as being, a 3-hunter. But he is an all-around point guard. It's not like he's just a rim runner or just this and that. he can do it all for you guys. I'm just throwing it out there for you. Russell Westbrook, the best point guard right now, in my opinion, in the entire game. I'm putting Derrick Rose in A tier. I really like D Rose. Is he a top 2 point guard in the game? I don't think so, but I definitely think he's a top 5 option at that point guard position. And I definitely think if you got Derrick Rose as your trophy case reward, I mean, he's gonna do the job for you. What is Derrick Rose gonna give you? Well, he's not gonna be as good defensively as Russ because his player model is not quite as good. But D Rose, again, decent enough defensively, Hall of Fame, quick first step, clamp breaker, hyperdrive, gonna dunk the ball on everybody in his way. Gonna be very solid. A tier option. Steph Curry, he's a different point guard than we've really seen so far when we're doing this list. Steph Curry is going to be probably the best 300 on this list. I'm gonna throw him at B tier, but if you like 300, he's your best option in my team right now. It's just that simple. 300 I don't think is the meta right now, but if you want to, Steph Curry is probably your best option at B tier. Ja Morant, S tier. In my opinion right now, it's Ja Morant and Russell Westbrook as the best 2 point guards in the entire game. Now, that's not me saying that if you want to put Cade Cunningham up there that you can. Again, I don't even know. Did I leave Cade Cunningham off this list? I might. Let's see. Yeah, Cade Cunningham's not even on this list because I personally left him off in the same thing as Dwayne Wade. So there's going to be a lot of those types of guys that I personally left off the list. It's my fault. I apologize. It's just, I basically took what the tier lists were that I had and then just combine them together with the top heavy guys. I'm just guessing I left them off the list because maybe they weren't released at the time I did the point guard list, stuff like that. But where I'd have those guys, I'd probably have Dwayne Wade at B tier. I'm guessing Cade Cunningham at A tier. I still don't think either of them are a top 2 point guard right now in my team. Jason Kidd, wherever I'd have Dwayne Wade is where I'm having Jason Kidd. I think he's B tier. Look, Jason Kidd is going to give you one thing on the basketball court, okay? And that is the ability to play defense. That's really it. Defensively, absolutely elite, right? That's where Jason Kidd is going to be at his best. Outside of that, he's pretty mediocre, pretty mid, but on that defensive end of the court, he's going to be absolutely elite. Donovan Mitchell, I'm putting at B tier as well. I know he's a diamond, and I know he came out a while ago, but Donovan Mitchell is still a card I personally hate playing against. Now, you guys might like playing against him, but I personally don't. I don't like playing against him. Why? It's because of his interior. His interior is so good that I hate it. I hate playing against this card because he's tough on defense. He still can move and groove. He gives you a lot on the court. Donovan Mitchell, B tier. Rip Hamilton, I don't like the card very much. I'm gonna put him at C tier. A card that I thought I would like, but then as time went on, I'm like, I really don't like Richard Hamilton. Why? He's basically a one-trick pony, man. He can shoot the ball lights out, yes. But defensively, he's mid. And you guys might be like, Ty, his defensive edge are good. Trust me, with his player model, with everything else, his defense is the definition of mid. I'm telling you guys that right now. Don't believe me. Hey, that's up to you guys. But his defense is the definition of mid. Offensively, yes, he can shoot the ball. But he can't attack the rim. His playmaking is not great. It's mid overall. I'm telling you, Richard Hamilton is overrated in my team. A card that's not overrated is Vince Carter. And I might even have to move him up. I absolutely am in love with Vince Carter. I don't use the word love lightly, but Vince Carter might be the most underrated card still to this day. Why? Look, everybody in the My Team community is going to say this. Here's what they're going to say. Vince Carter can't defend. That's what they're going to tell you guys. Now, my counter argument to that would be this. How? He's got a 90 speed, good acceleration, good lateral quickness. His interiors are 79. So please, tell me how he can't defend. I know he can't get clamps, but his defense is just fine. His release is good. Vince Carter is so underrated in my team. He's just not quite as good as Michael Jordan. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. But I personally believe right now, Michael Jordan is the best shooting guard in the entire game. I firmly do believe that. He's got a decent enough three ball, especially if you give him the duo with Scottie Pippen. That's not going to be a worry. Defensively, absolutely elite on the defensive end of the court is Michael Jordan. I mean, Hall of Fame clamps, can get a few other badges in here. Offensively, yes, I know his release is on the slow side of things, but it's super easy to time into green. I mean, I don't see many problems with Michael Jordan, especially when you're talking about on the defensive end of the court. The dude is absolutely incredible on that end of the court, especially in my team. Next up, guys, we do see Andre Iguodala, and I'm going to put him at B tier. I'm personally not as high on Andre Iguodala as a lot of other people in the My Team community. But here's what you're looking at, okay? Maybe the best defensive player in the entire game. And you guys can say I'm biased for saying that, but most of the My Team community would probably agree with me. And I don't know why he's so good on the defensive end of the court, but he is. The reason I personally don't run him is because I don't like his release. But stat and badge-wise, you can argue there's no better shooting guard in the entire game. That's why he's at B tier for me. Look, I'm running Vince and MJ over him, but Andre Iguodala, for a lot of people, is just as good, if not better. Next up, we got Jaylen Brown. I guess I'm throwing him at B tier too. I mean, between Jaylen Brown and Andre Iguodala, who's better? I'd probably lean Andre Iguodala. Some people might lean Jaylen Brown. I'm gonna throw them at the same tier. They both have a slow release, both gonna defend at a very good level. It's just really preference based, to be honest with you. I'd probably go Andre Iguodala. Gordon Hayward's good in my team, and not very many people are gonna know that or respect it because not a lot of people have Gordon Hayward. But here's what you're looking at, okay? And I know I'm talking about a guy that is, I'm not gonna call him a one-trick pony because he can defend a little better than a guy like a Richard Hamilton. But here's what you're looking at. Defensively, all 80 plus, and a decent player model. So he's got both those things going for him. A 93 ball, great shooting badges. He's good in my team. A lot of people aren't gonna recognize that or agree with it. But trust me when I tell you guys, Gordon Hayward in my team is really, really, really solid. Definitely A tier to me. Richard Jefferson, I'm going A tier as well. A card I didn't get for Quaz because I was playing Vince and MJ. Do I regret it? Maybe a little bit. Because I have used him on an account in wagers and stuff, and I love it, man. He plays great defense. Attacking the rim is so tough. Yes, his release is slow. I 100% agree with that. His release is very slow. But it is easy to green. And so, yes, even though it's slow, you can green pretty consistently, I would say, with it. And that does matter when it comes down to it for a guy like Richard Jefferson. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't know, man. I mean, the card just came out. I want to put him at B tier, but I got to put him with Chris Bosh. Like, that's as simple as it gets. I want to put him at B tier, but I can't. He's right with Chris Bosh. They're basically the same type of card. And if I don't like Chris Bosh, I can't like Cat. I mean, yes, they're both offensively really solid. But on the defensive end of the court, they're probably both going to struggle that little extra bit. And I pride myself on the defensive end of the court. That's why Karl-Anthony Towns can't be any higher. Moses Malone up next. Here we get a card that, in my opinion, can do it all. Okay, you're looking at a card with great speed, decent enough three ball at a 67, got Hall of Fame bully, got some good defensive badges, and is just all around a solid player in general, is Moses Malone. Now, you guys don't have to agree with me on Moses Malone, but I think people can make the argument he's the best power forward center in the entire game. So that's where we're at. I guess if I have to move a player to F tier, I'm moving Blake Griffin. I do not like Blake Griffin anymore. I think his release is not great. And I just think in general, there's better options rather than a guy like Blake Griffin. Now, if I were to rank the Galaxy Opals, Patrick Ewing would be B tier. Anthony Davis would be S tier. Jimmy Butler would be S tier. As far as Gilbert Arenas, I don't know. I haven't used him. He'd probably be A tier, I'm guessing, for Agent Zero. Clyde Drexler would be S tier. And then when it comes down to the other Galaxy Opal Trophy case rewards, let's just look at them all here. When it comes down to the last one being Chris Paul would probably be C tier. I mean, he's too small, in my opinion, to even play. So that's where the Galaxy Opals would be. But because we don't have them on this list, or we're not going to have them because the majority of guys watching this video aren't going to have them, let's just make my top 10. Okay, so Russ, Ja, MJ, Vince, okay, Scotty, Worthy, JT, KG. Okay, so I got to move one power forward center up. Alonzo Mourning's going up. Because we don't have AD on this list, I'm moving Alonzo Mourning up. So we need one more power forward type player. I'm doing it. You guys can disagree if you want. I'm moving Elton Brand up. That's what it's going to be. Let me know your thoughts on the tier list down below in the comments. Is it good? Am I too high on some guys? Am I too low on some guys? Let me know that down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, man, I love you guys. And have a blessed day.